kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Racers Elite Xfinity Series live on Sim Racing Media. I'm Mike Demoni up in the booth once again. These guys are getting ready to wrap up practice. They have a full field tonight. Looks like 20 drivers are going to take part. Fastest man on track is Andrew Tuft with a 40.68. But we are getting ready to start to wrap up this season. This is the second to last race. Go ahead and take a look here at the point standings. We've got Brandon Puffenbarger with 2,314 points. Daniel Honeycutt, 14 back. Andrew Teft, 30 back from Honeycutt there. Lee Campbell and Alex Teft round out this top 5 for the championship here as they get ready to race for the Cup. See who gets out on track first. Looks like we got Ira Kohlhaas getting ready to make his run. Dennis Kane also out on track. Last week, these guys were at Iowa Speedway. Brandon Puffenbarger only led 4 laps, but he wound up leading the most important one, which was the one at the end. Ian Campbell finished second, and Corey Crowell finished third. Andrew Teft was fourth, and Jarrett Larder finished fifth. As we get rolling here, looks like Dennis Kane's starting his first qualifying lap. Looks like Ira Kohlhaas just finished his. So Ira's going to go like top of the board for a short little time as Aaron Marquez goes a 41.20 and AJ Coughlin up there with a 41.17. Dennis Kane finished his first lap with a 41.28. Marquez just went a 41.04, but Ira Kohlhaas threw down a flyer with a 40.87. As he is going to take the pole position for the moment. Timothy Hoke looks like he's going to finish his first lap. See how fast that time is. And he jumps up to the top of the board with a 40.82. Daniel Honeycutt coming to the start-finish line on his first lap. A 40.77 top of the board that time by. Corey Crawwell with a 40.99 his first time around Auto Club. Evening, Joshua, checking in the YouTube chat. Kinsley Smith made his first pass, a 40.98. That 00 machine rolling pretty good right now. Go to the 82 Chevy of Joshua Neal completing his first lap. .41.13. Second time by. What he can do here. Improves a little bit, 41.03. Good enough for the top 10. Kinsley Smith ran his second lap in a 40.98. Good enough for 7th. We got Kirby Wainscott in the number 10 Chevy making his first lap around here. Brandon Puffenbarger just finishing his first lap, last week's winner. He rolls through first time by with a 40.87. So we'll see if he's going to be able to make that a little bit better this second lap here. John Schlollenbacher, first time by was a 41.35. Put down a qualifying time at least. Brandon Puffenbarger's coming to the start-finish line to finish his second lap. A 40.90, so not going to be able to improve his time. So we got quite the board sitting up here right now. We got Daniel Honeycutt up there with a 40.69. Timothy Hoke a 40.82. And you can go back. You have Ian Campbell, Corey Crowell, Lee Campbell, Ira Kohlhaas, Brandon Puffenbarger, all inside a couple thousandths. Kinsley Smith inside the top 8 with a 40.98. Jump over here to Andrew Teft as he gets that 98 machine rolling here. First lap was a 40.89. Slides up, come down the backstretch. Getting down to the start-finish line. A little bit slower. Looks like the first lap seems to be when almost everybody seems to have the better line here. Brandon Honeycutt making his qualifying bid here in that 13 Chevy. First time by for Brandon is a 41.36, so not terribly fast. We'll jump back here to Alex Teft in the 43 Aflac Ford, making his first lap count with a 41.01. Headed down the backstretch. Brandon Honeycutt just getting to the start-finish line. We'll see where he goes as we stay with Alex Teft. Brandon Honeycutt runs almost the identical lap time. Alex Teft, see if he can go any faster. He went faster, but did not improve position here as he ran a 40.99. So not a whole lot separating the middle of the group here. Brandon Honeycutt rolling through. Like I said, this is race number 8 of 9 for the chase for the Cup here. Like we got 3 drivers that did not put down a qualifying lap. Trevor Woodward, Jeremy Carter, and David Palmer. Let these guys get into their cars and we'll see if we can get a look here. Wait on a couple drivers, but we got Daniel Honeycutt taking the pole position with a 40.686. Timothy Hoke just to his outside in row 1. Row 2 is Ian Campbell and Corey Crawwell. Roll on back to Lee Campbell and Ira Kohlhaas in row 3. Row 4 is Brandon Puffenbarger and Andrew Teft. Then we got Kinsley Smith and Alex Teft in row 5. Row 6 is Dennis Kane and AJ Coughlin. We got Joshua Neal and Aaron Marquise in row 7. Then we got Kirby Wainscott and John Schollenbachler, Brandon Honeycutt, and Trevor Woodward in row 9. Row 10 is Jeremy Carter, and David Palmer brings up the tail of the field. 20 drivers take part here tonight in race number 8 in the chase for the Cup in the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. These guys are set to do 98 laps with 65% fuel, 4 sets of tires sitting in the pits. Daniel Honeycutt takes a familiar position, going to be leading them to the start-finish line. Daniel Honeycutt has won the pole 7 times. Brandon Puffenbarger 4. So definitely a familiar spot for Daniel Honeycutt to be in. As these guys get set to turn them loose here. Lights are out on the pace cars. We're locked and loaded and ready to go. Make their way out of the 3-4 complex. Honeycutt with the button as he rolls it on slow to the Geico restart zone. Waits almost to the end, and he is down and away. Looks like the outside Timothy Hoke spun the tires a little bit. He's able to hang on and be side by side for second with Ian Campbell. But Campbell quickly moves up and slides in front of Hoke there. Daniel Honeycutt has got the line he wants, and he is driving away here. Lee Campbell working the inside of Hoke now as they come down the backstretch. Like Kirby Wainscott pulled out. Joshua Neal also out on that bottom lane. And Aaron Marquise as well. Several different lines working through 3 and 4 here. As you see, they're 3 and 4 deep as they make their way towards the start-finish line. But up front, it is still Daniel Honeycutt. Timothy Hoke able to hang on here for second. You have the Campbells battling in 3rd and 4th. They come through 3 and 4 one more time. Hoke gets that high line, and he is able to maintain second. Looks like he's slowly starting to close in on Daniel Honeycutt. Talked to Daniel Honeycutt this morning. Made some adjustments to his sim rig. Was kind of complaining about it. Said he had to get used to it, but from what I'm seeing, he must have got comfortable real quick here as he is able to run pole position and get worked out to the front. Lee Campbell goes to the inside of Ian Campbell and made that pass there for 3rd, and now he is trying to get to the inside of Hoke and see if he can make that same run work here as he's sliding in behind Daniel Honeycutt. Fastest man on the track right now is Aaron Marquise, as he just ran a 41.17, and as I say that, come across the line one more time. Al and Andrew and Alex Teft were battling pretty close there, but Andrew with the 41.15. Kinsley Smith on the high side, going to try and get by Corey Crowell. Crowell went down to the inside, going to try and get some more speed here. It looks like we might have a little issue with the leader here as he goes clear down to the white line now, trying to get a little more speed out of that 72 Toyota there. Honeycutt slides up in front of Hoke, going to run little bit higher entry into 1 and 2 here. You can see them almost 4 wide. You got Kinsley Smith clear up almost on the wall as they come through 1 and 2 and head down that backstretch. That backstretch isn't as banked as much as the front stretch or the corners, as it only has 3 degrees of banking. The front stretch banked at 11. Around this 2-mile D-shaped oval here. Honeycutt's still trying to lead. Hoke on the high side gets a little bit better run coming through the front stretch, and they're still side by side. And you got Lee Campbell and Kinsley Smith working pretty close side by side there. Almost 2 by 2. You usually don't see too much of that here at Auto Club. They usually try and work their way around and not stay too close to the person to their inside there. See everybody battling off the corner there. Looks like Hoke led that lap and is getting a little bit faster here. Lee Campbell trying to hang on for third and still push his way forward. Kinsley Smith down to the inside. As Crowell just to his outside. Smith sends it in deep. Going to try and get that Aaron's Dream Machine to hold the line down there. As Honeycutt goes from the bottom to the high side. Slides right in front of Lee Campbell, trying to get more speed into that 72 Racers Elite machine. As Honeycutt goes back to the point. Timothy Hoke still battling tough on the outside. Ian Campbell trying to get back up here inside the top 5. Currently sitting P6 right now as Kinsley Smith made a run towards the front. Probably overdrove just a little bit, faded back. And now he is going to be under attack from Ian Campbell. Brandon Puffenbarger also closing in. As Ira Kohas is there as well, and Andrew Teft. 9 laps in here from Auto Club in the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. These guys are battling hot and heavy, working their way through all 2 miles here. Burwell was able to kind of put on a clinic last night. Had some little bit of fun in the Truck Series as they were at Eldora for Halloween. Did a short little race there, and he was able to come out victorious. Daniel Honeycutt beginning to drive away now after he got settled back into his line. Evening, Sarah, as usual. Let's see if we can jump on board here with the 98 machine. Ira Kohas down to his inside. Kinsley Smith just in front of him there. You can see they all run a little bit different lines. You see clear up in front. Hoke in that yellow car sliding up from the bottom, clear out to the outside wall. Just see how close these guys are getting as the Teff brothers are battling here as well. Looks like Joshua Neal trying to close in on the back of Ira Kohas. 3 wide for quite a while. Andrew Teft in the middle. Looks like Andrew gets a little bit loose. Ira Kohas goes down to the bottom side. Joshua Neal still has a little bit of speed there. And the 11 of AJ Coughlin trying to push his way forward up a couple spots from where he started the race. Crowell was able to get by Hoke and now is firmly in second place. Has to run down Daniel Honeycutt. Honeycutt out to over a half-second lead. But this is still anybody's ball game as we have several laps to go and several pit stops as well. Go take it back further in the field. We got the 15 Ford of Trevor Woodward. Didn't throw down a qualifying lap, but is still out here running some laps. Got Kirby Wainscott back here as well. Jeremy Carter, Brandon Honeycutt, John Schlolenbachler, and David Palmer. Kinsley Smith looks like he's trying to battle out here. Andrew Teft was able to get by. Andrew Coughlin down to the inside on the bottom was able to get by as well. You can see these guys going 3 and 4 wide around this track as they fan out. They try and get almost single file down the backstretch and through the front stretch. But they're still fan out as everybody has a different idea about the best way to get through the corner. And up front, looks like Hoke and Lee Campbell might have bumped doors there, and Hoke got the worst of it as he is now fading back just a little ways. Brandon Puffenbarger is going to try and take advantage and make that pass as the Campbells have hooked up here as well. Ian Campbell down to the inside of Lee Campbell. Brandon Puffenbarger inside of Hoke. And they battle off the corner. Looks like Puffenbarger's trying to slide up a little further on the track. Doesn't necessarily like running the bottom through the front stretch there. Everybody kind of settled down just a little bit. Jeremy Carter's going to pull out and try and get by Alex Teft. Dennis Kane trying to hold on there. Looks like Hoke might be going the wrong way after he got a little roughed up there. Just a little touch. Maybe got pushed out of his line, but he is fading back quite a little ways down 5 spots from where he started. And the Campbells are going back and forth. Lee Campbell on the bottom, Ian Campbell on the high side. Coming through 3 and 4, or 1 and 2 there. Puffenbarger. And slowly and methodically making his way towards the front. He's up 2 spots from where he started. Andrew Teft also up 2 spots. AJ Coughlin didn't have the qualifying effort he wanted, but has got that number 11 Chevy pointed in the right direction, up 5 spots. Hoke having a little bit of trouble fading back into 8th. Joshua Neal up 4 spots to 9th. And inside the top 10, just as I go to switch to him, Trevor Woodward gets a little loose coming off of 2, but gets that Ford back under him, and he is up 8 spots, currently sitting P10, but he is going to be under attack here momentarily by Ira Kohlhaas. If it's not Kohlhaas, it's definitely going to be Kinsley Smith, as they are reeling him in with every lap they turn here. But it looks like Woodward's been able to get that Ford back underneath him, and he is starting to drive away. Looks like Kinsley Smith might have overdrove his machine there. Got the tires a little too wore in here as we're on lap 18. He's fading back a little ways. He's down 4 spots from where he started. Lee Campbell has Brandon Puffenbarger down to his inside. Looks like Ian Campbell was able to get around Corey Crowell and make his pass for P2. But everybody is still going to have to catch Daniel Honeycutt. Kind of joked with these guys about bringing in many guys that have the same last name. We got Campbells, we got Tefts, we've got Kohasses, and we have Honeycutts. Guys are doing a heck of a job recruiting. And their seasons are only going to get better in their first year here. I remember calling these guys when they had 6 or 7 cars, and now they're fielding 20 car fields on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. So if it's something you want to do, definitely check them out, racerselite.com, and they'll get you hooked up. Go ahead and do a quick little rundown of the field. Daniel Honeycutt from North Carolina leading the race by over 2 seconds. Ian Campbell in that 12 Ford up a spot to P2. Corey Crawwell is going to be under attack momentarily. Oak Harbor, Ohio native Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger's going to get the run and get P3, up 4 spots for Puffenbarger. Lee Campbell is in P5, and it looks like Ian Campbell got a little loose, went down to the wall. Hope Valley, Rhode Island for Andrew Teft. AJ Coughlin, Rochester Hills. That's the top 7 as they run right now. Let's go up here and see what is going on with Ian Campbell. Looks like he is just trying to hit his marks here. Puffenbarger was able to get by Lee Campbell there, and now Crawwell and try and work his way into a manageable gap to Daniel Honeycutt. Andrew Teft got by Lee Campbell and Crawwell as well. Lee Campbell trying to hold on here to P5. AJ Coughlin and Corey Crawwell in 6th and 7th. That's the closest battle on track is between Crawwell and Coughlin there. So I say that, it looks like Honeycutt and Marquise are kind of working close to each other. One clear down on the inside, one riding the wall. Looks like Woodward is up there almost on the wall too, trying to get as much speed as he can out of that machine. Got Ira Kohas trying to take away P8 right now. Let's say we're going to be getting close to pit stops here. As Daniel Honeycutt stays out, looks like Lee Campbell, Corey Crawwell, Jeremy Carter all come in. Joshua Neal, Aaron Marquise. Dennis Kane also in. We'll see if Daniel Honeycutt and the rest of the leaders come in this time by. Doesn't look like it is. Honeycutt's out almost to the wall. See if Honeycutt's going to try and stretch this a little bit further. Don't know exactly how far you can stretch it as AJ Coughlin, Ira Kohas, Kinsley Smith, David Palmer all come in for pit stops. That's the second little group. Sounds like Woodward is going to come into the pits. See if Honeycutt will. It looks like he will not. Like John Schollenbacher is going to be coming in as well. Puffenbarger coming in. With everybody coming in, I don't believe they're going to be able to make it basically a two-stop race here. It looks like Honeycutt's going to come in as well, as he is down on that white line, going to make that left-hand turn down pit lane. Get them all locked up and ready to go. So with that being said, looks like we've got a couple drivers that have not hit pit lane at all. And we're under caution. Take it back a little ways here. Better view here. '59 and 26. So Timothy Hoke and Jeremy Carter. Like Carter is down on the bottom and slides up almost 3 lanes, gets into the back of Hoke and just spins him around. Joshua Neal able to get by like the 13 of Brandon Honeycutt was able to get by. So we'll see how this is all going to shake out here as they roll through. It's like Alex Teft is spending an extended time on pit lane. Kirby Wainscott spent 42 seconds in there as well. Let's get these guys all figured out where they're supposed to be here. Puffenbarger on his way around. Everybody's probably going to be able to get the wave around here. Looks like Andrew Teft and Lee Campbell are trying a little bit of fuel strategy, trying to get that as much fuel in that tank as they can. as they get stacked back up here, ready for a restart. Sorry, you just missed a little incident there. It looked like coming off of pit lane, had a little fresher tires, slid up the track and got into, looks like Jeremy Carter slid up the track and got into the back of Timothy Hoke that brought out the caution. So we get set to go one more time. Daniel Honeycutt with the button. We are down and away back under green. Daniel Honeycutt with a huge run there. Ian Campbell up to second. Brandon Honeycutt down to the inside. Kirby Wainscott hanging up inside the top 5 now. Andrew Teft in 5th. Timothy Hoke 6th. Alex Teft running up here mid-pack, but he is a lap down at the moment. Going to try and have to race his way back to the front. Corey Crawwell and Puffenbarger were up front. Kind of got caught in a relatively bad position when the caution came out. But starting to step out once again as he's got 0.3 of a second lead. You can see everybody kind of spread out behind him. Ian Campbell down low, Brandon Honeycutt in the middle, and Kirby Wainscott up to the high side. Andrew Teft going to try and make up a few spots, up 10 spots right now, running P4. He slides up in front of Wainscott. Wainscott into the wall. See if he's going to be able to save it here. Looks like he does. He's able to stay off of everybody else, keep the car pointed in the right direction. They head down the backstretch. Looks like Hoke and Crowell take evasive action, try and get away from that 10 car as fast as possible. Puffenbarger now to the inside of Wainscott. See those guys almost 4 wide back there. Trevor Woodward, Joshua Neal, Alex Teft, AJ Coughlin. Lee Campbell's had a heck of a run. He was running up towards the front. Elected to come down pit lane under the caution right before it turned green. To get some more fuel, try and turn this into a one more stop race here. See if that's going to come to fruition. Looks like Jeremy Carter's sliding up the track a little bit again as he is on turn. Middle of the turn, looks like he comes in maybe a little too hot on entry. Gathers that car underneath of him. You can see these guys just spreading out all across the track as they go through the corners, trying to get some speed and find an area to go here. Crawwell's down on the bottom side, just trying to make his way up towards the front. Slides in behind Brandon Puffenbarger. Ian Campbell goes high side, low side. And I missed this. We're going to have to take a look here. As Andrew Teft looks like he was just shot out of a rocket, as he is now out to 0.6 of a second lead here. Let's go back and take a look here and see what happened. Looks like Honeycutt just is running fine, but Andrew Teft must have made some adjustments on that pit stop, as he is now pulling away. He's almost a second in front of Ian Campbell. Daniel Honeycutt back in second. Looks like Timothy Hoke sliding up the racetrack is going to drop a few positions. Offenbarger, middle of the track. Looks like Honeycutt's driving down to the low side, going to try and drive back to the front. We saw him do it a little bit earlier in the race as he wasn't entirely comfortable with his car. Lost a couple positions, then came right back to the front. See if that's what's going to happen this time as he slides in front of Ian Campbell and they make their way down the backstretch. Campbell's going to pull off and go down to the inside. See if he's going to stick his nose in. Not quite, as Honeycutt is able to get down in front of him. Sail off into 3 and 4 and head towards the start-finish line here. So with that being said, as we're getting close to the halfway mark, I'm going to step aside here. You won't miss anything as we go side by side. I'll be back right after this. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Racers Elite Xfinity Series here on Sim Racing Media. Mike Timoni up in the booth, as always. Like we're starting to get a battle here for the lead, back and forth. Daniel Honeycutt faded back a little ways. Andrew Teff down to the inside, going to send it in hard into turn 1. See if it's going to be able to stick, and it looks like it will as he carries a lot of speed coming off. Honeycutt's going to cross him over, go down to the inside. As they exit turn 2, down the backstretch they go. Honeycutt with the advantage. And behind them you see Puffenbarger and Ian Campbell getting close together there as well. And Corey Crawwell starting to make his way back towards the front as well. Somebody's going to have to do something to break this streak of Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger has won the last 3 races. Kansas Speedway, Homestead, Miami, Iowa. I mean, Daniel Honeycutt's won the 2 races before that at Richmond and Phoenix. We'll have to see what happens here as they are getting closer to that halfway mark here. Honeycutt's able to get back out into the lead, out by over 3/4 of a second right now. Andrew Teft might have used up his stuff a little bit early there as Ian Campbell slides down to the inside and try and take P3 away from Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger's going to stay on the high side, try and work his way around Campbell. Slides down to the middle and pinches Campbell down to the white line there. Campbell still hanging tough down there, trying to take that spot away. Puffenbarger battling middle of the corner. Gonna get a little bit of a better run coming off on with that higher exit. And behind them, Trevor Woodward and Brandon Honeycutt go side by side, almost into each other as they were able to gather the car back under them. Looks like Puffenbarger's been able to put Campbell away for the moment. And now he has his sights firmly set on Andrew Teft. But this battle is not over as Ian Campbell found more speed down on the bottom side. See if he's going to be able to take any positions here. Just to the inside of Puffenbarger. And now to the inside of Teft. Honeycutt and Woodward battling as well. Teft on the high side. Puffenbarger was thinking about going middle, thought better of it, let Campbell stay down low. And he will try and stay on the high side, get some more speed on corner exit. Andrew Teft just trying to hold on at this point. Looks like he might have used up his tires as he made a huge run from middle of the field out to lead by over a second early in the run, but now he is paying for using those tires up early. We're going to be getting close to drivers making pit stops here, as it looks like we have our first couple takers. The Campbell's head, or Lee Campbell heads down, and Jeremy Carter down as well. Looks like Andrew Teft is trying to hang on here. Looks like Corey Crawwell is going to come down. Puffenbarger staying out in P3 right now. Crawwell comes down. Looks like he's the only one of this lead group that's going to. Daniel Honeycutt stayed out last time till lap 27. We'll see if he's going to stay out a little bit longer this time by. Got about, I'd say 5 or 6 laps maybe. Well, it'll depend on how much time he's losing to the drivers on fresh tires. Tire fall off here seems to be pretty good as far as losing time. See who gets back out on track first here, and I'll kind of give you an update of what the speed numbers look like. Ira Kohaus, Joshua Neal down. Aaron Marquise down.
Lee Campbell. Like he's going to be the first one on fresh tires here, I believe, to log a lap. We'll see what his lap time is. So his lap time there is a 41.01 to Daniel Honeycutt just ran a 42.53. So losing second and a half a lap. Kirby Wainscott down. Daniel Honeycutt almost got caught on pit lane when the caution came out last time. Like Crowell's trying to get his lap back the hard way here. Last lap was a 41.31. Honeycutt coming down. Looks like Campbell's going to stay out. Brandon Puffenberger in. Ira Kohlhaas just ran the fastest lap of the race with a 40.99. So Crowell back onto the lead lap here. Ian Campbell coming down. Trying to get that car woed up to get down to pit road speed. And it looks like he will. Andrew Teft rolling through here. Last pit on lap 29. Did a little fuel strategy there, I'll call it. As he came down, I believe when the pits were closed, to get as much fuel in that machine as he could. Last pit on lap 29. So he'll probably come down this next lap, I would imagine. Right now he is scored as the leader. Looks like Timothy Hoke in second has not pitted as well. Brandon Honeycutt hasn't pitted, and neither has John Schollenbachler. We'll see if Teft is going to come down or not. Looks like he is not. Hoke is. Ian Campbell getting his lap back the hard way. So the only two drivers that have not hit pit lane this time is Andrew Teft and John Schollenbachler. We'll see if Schollenbachler comes down. Doesn't look like he will, so he'll stay out as well. We'll see how far Andrew Teft can go. Looks like it's going to be too far of a distance to make this one more stop. So it's going to be whoever can make the best fuel-only pit stop, as Andrew Teft gets sideways, noses into the wall. So that is not what he wanted to end his day on there, or test his day on there. He's back driving, getting it down pit lane. John Schollenbachler is the leader at the moment, but he has not made his pit stop yet. Corey Crowell made his pit stop on lap 49, so he should be able to be good for a little while. It's going to be interesting to see what strategies come to fruition here. If anybody elects to pit earlier, they just inside that pit window. So you're looking at somewhere around lap 72 to make it to the end of the race. So I bet everybody will probably come down somewhere around 73 to 75. It'll be interesting to see who comes down first, because the drivers who come down first tend to be able to get back out in front faster than the guys who wait and pit towards the end. They just lose too much time to those fresh tires, it seems like here. So Crowell is now the leader. Jeremy Carter in second. Lee Campbell third. Daniel Honeycutt, fastest man on the track most of the night. Brandon Puffenbarger. Those two are going to be battling hot and heavy here for the championship as the race goes on. We're sitting here with 38 laps to go. So with that being said, and everybody making their way back out on track, Andrew Tuff trying to just stay one lap down as he is now in front of Corey Crowell. Tuff has to get past a couple other cars to get into that lucky dog position to get that lap back. Corwell, Jeremy Carter, Lee Campbell all working through here. Lee Campbell's going to go down to the inside and try and make the pass here on Carter for second. Looks like he will be able to do just that. That being said, Honeycutt and Puffenbarger are closing in. And Ira Kohlhaas is trying to make his way back up there as well. Honeycutt down to the inside of Carter. And he will get by Carter. Lee Campbell sees Honeycutt down on the inside. And he is going to try and make the pass on Lee Campbell. Sarah, the lucky dog is basically the first car that is a lap down. So if there's a caution that comes out, that car is the one that gets the free pass and gets to go back to the lead lap. Honeycutt does get by Campbell. And now he has to set sail to try and make up almost 3 seconds to get to Corey Crowell. Crowell ran lights out last night and is doing the same tonight. He has had his pit strategy planned from the beginning, and it looks like it is what has got him out front. Last pit on lap 49, and now he is leading by over 2.5 seconds. So as these guys do that, I'm going to step aside here as they're starting to single file out. Take my final commercial break. When I come back, we will get to the money stop and the end of the race tonight. This is the Racers Elite Xfinity Series on Sim Racing Media. All right, back to the Racers Elite Xfinity Series side-by-side action. There's Lee Campbell and Jeremy Carter were going side-by-side for a little ways. Ian Campbell was able to make quick work and get back around those drivers. He's up into P4. Brandon Puffenbarger is sitting P3 right now. Daniel Honeycutt has found his way around the traffic that he was in and is now 0.2 of a second off the rear bumper of Corey Crawwell. Crawwell had his chance, was leading the race. It's going to come down to the money stop and who can make that pit stop the best. Crawwell slides up in front of Honeycutt. Looks like Honeycutt's going to go down to the inside, use up as much track as he can. He stays on the racing surface, and he is going to try and take this position from Crawwell. Slides up in front just a little bit, and he will get back to the point. Crawwell slides back in second. He is running a pretty good race here in that 21 Toyota. Toyota's 1-2 in this, I'll say, Chevy-dominated field here. If we can maybe go on board here with Honeycutt. See how he's making his way around the track at the moment. Come back and take a ride on the nose of the MVP Roofing and Restoration's number 5 Chevy here. Brandon Puffenbarger trying to make his way up inside the top 2 here. You can kind of see just how much banking these corners have in them. As we are getting to that pit window, Puffenbarger down to the inside. A slide up in front of Crawwell there. Crawwell back to third. Now the top 2 in the championship chase are going to do battle on track. Last week, Daniel Honeycutt led 75 laps of the race, just was not able to bring home a win after, I believe he got caught speeding on pit lane, so had to go towards the back of the field there and not finish where he wanted to, which is probably what made the championship race extend a little bit more than he thought it was going to. Puffenbarger just has to stay close to Honeycutt. No mistakes, and Puffenbarger will win the championship. Crawwell comes down pit lane right now as he is inside his pit window. Team's telling him, hey, yep, come down. We got you out front earlier. We're going to do it again. So he is in. Carter is in. Lee Campbell, Joshua Neal, all those drivers headed down pit lane. Like I said, they get inside their pit window. Everybody should start coming because we've seen how much track position you can lose when you're running on older tires. Granted, these are not going to be quite as old as the full fuel run here, but Puffenbarger, Honeycutt both come down pit lane. Honeycutt comes in a little rough, gets that car under him, and has to go through a couple pit stalls to do it, but he is going to slide up in front of Puffenbarger. Leader on the track, Ian Campbell, Ira Kohlhaas in second. Trevor Woodward in third. Timothy Hoke fourth. Brendan Honeycutt in fifth. As you see Crowell make his way back out on track. Didn't lose a lap there to Ian Campbell. Comes out on the lead lap. We'll see how much speed he has in that 21 Chevy machine here. Sounds like Ira Kohlhaas made the call, and he's going to head down pit lane. Ian Campbell staying out. Kirby Wainscott in. Dennis Kane in. AJ Coughlin in. So the race is really going to be between Crowell and Puffenbarger and Honeycutt, and they all are right next to each other. So the action heats up here on lap 77 in the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. Honeycutt down to the inside. Crowell has the speed. He's been out on a couple laps. We'll see if he's going to be able to pull away here and at least get a little bit of cushion from Honeycutt and Puffenbarger. They are still side by side. Nothing really separating them out on the track. A thousandth of a second inside outside. Crowell gets a better run coming off the corner. We'll see if Honeycutt's going to slide up behind him, and he will, as this is effectively the race for the leader for the lead. Ian Campbell hasn't come down. Trevor Woodward has not either. We've got Timothy Hoke, Brandon Honeycutt, and John Schollenbachler, all that have not come in yet. So Crowell, Honeycutt, and Puffenbarger are the first cars that have made that pit stop. 20 laps to go here in the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. And the race today basically turned it into a two-horse race for the championship. As Andrew Teft came in to the race 44 points behind the leader, Brandon Puffenbarger. And looks like right now there's going to be quite a finish difference here, as Andrew Teft made the little mistake coming down pit lane. It's going to cost him a ton of position in the points race. It'll be down between Brandon Puffenbarger and Daniel Honeycutt. Right now, though, Corey Crowell is running away as far as he can, as fast as he can, because he knows on the longer run Daniel Honeycutt and Brandon Puffenbarger are faster. As Alex Teft gets into that outside wall, scrapes it up quite a bit there, as Crowell goes down to the inside and makes that pass, puts Teft between himself and Honeycutt and Puffenbarger. These guys effectively on track right now are running 5th, 6th, and 7th. But Ian Campbell, Timothy Hope, Brandon Honeycutt, and John Schollenbachler have yet to pit. 18 laps to go. Down to the inside goes Crowell and Honeycutt and Puffenbarger. They're all to the inside of, it looks like John Schollenbachler there. Ian Campbell came down pit lane. Timothy Hope did as well. So Brandon Honeycutt is the only car that has not pit with 56 since lap 56, with 17 laps to go here in the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. 20 seconds between Crowell and Brandon Honeycutt right at the moment. 17 laps to go. Crowell trying to bring home a victory. He's got a half-second lead on Honeycutt, but Honeycutt is reeling him in with every lap. And I got to think that the longer this race goes, the more it's going to favor Honeycutt. As it seems like Honeycutt fades back a little ways early in the run. Then as the run goes on, he finds more speed in that 72 Toyota. Crowell still has about 0.3 of a second lead. Honeycutt's trying to drive into it here. We'll look back in the field as these guys are all starting to get mired up here. We got Trevor Woodward, Ira Kohlhaas. Ian Campbell did a slide job there on AJ Coughlin. Almost got turned. Joshua Neal heading back there as well. These guys start to get single filed out. Brandon Honeycutt comes down pit lane. Ian Campbell almost turned Ira Kohlhaas there. And then slides up in front. "14 laps to go here at Auto Club Speedway. Crowell, Honeycutt, Puffenbarger are the leaders now as Brandon Honeycutt came down pit lane. Andrew Teft has a little bit fresher tires, but he is a lap down at the moment. Oh, 3 laps down. Honeycutt slides up in front of Teft there, trying to get a little push to get back to Crowell. Honeycutt and Crowell are going to be battling out here for the finish. As Puffenbarger is faded back a little ways, he's about 3/4 of a second back. Andrew Teft stays on the high line, going to try and drive past both of them right here, right now. It looks like he will. Honeycutt moves to the outside, going to try and get in the draft of Andrew Teft and make his way to the front. Like it's still going to be a tight race coming towards the start-finish line. Honeycutt gets it, and now Crowell is back to second. Puffenbarger trying to drive into the corner, trying to get a little more speed in that number 5 machine. Andrew Teft was able to get by and is starting to drive away. Daniel Honeycutt trying to get on the coattails there of that 98 machine as he makes his way through three and four here. And Puffenbarger is going to go down to the inside, going to test Crowell down there, and it looks like Puffenbarger is going to be able to get by. It's pretty much going to be these three to decide the race here with 11 laps to go. Crowell has almost a 6.5 second lead over Lee Campbell, who is back in fourth, running basically all by himself. Jeremy Carter, couple seconds back. Trevor Woodward back there as well. Ian Campbell, Ira Kohlhaas, Joshua Neal, and AJ Coughlin kind of battling out a little bit here. But up front, right now it's just Daniel Honeycutt. 10 laps to go. Honeycutt's got 8/10 of a second lead over Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger has Crowell behind him. We'll see if they can hook up and maybe get a little bit of draft down the backstretch to try and close into Daniel Honeycutt. Honeycutt just seems to be driving lights out tonight. I don't think anybody's going to believe him the next time he says that he doesn't think he's going to be competitive here in the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. They are closing in, but I don't know that it's going to be enough. 9 laps to go. Puffenbarger 6/10 back. Made up a couple tenths that time by. See the lap difference there between Puffenbarger and Honeycutt. As Honeycutt made up a little more time. 42.05 for Honeycutt, 42.06 for Puffenbarger. It looks like Crowell's starting to close in as well here. Crowell's all over that back bumper of Puffenbarger. Trying to get as much draft as they can, try and push it back up towards the front, but it looks like that time by Honeycutt's going to get almost half a second back. A little under 4/10. So 7 laps to go. Daniel Honeycutt has got to be loving what he's seeing back behind him out that rear view mirror. Rolling through the start finish line. Honeycutt gets 6 to go. 12 more miles here at Auto Club to settle it here. We got Crowell going down to the inside, going to try and get a different line to get up into P2. Then Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger's able to stay that high line and carry a little bit more speed, but Crowell has got to try something if he wants to get anything better than 3rd place right now. And honestly, it looks like that move might have cost Crowell a little bit more time than he thought it was going to, as he is now in 3rd place by almost 3/10 of a second at the moment. Like Andrew Teft had a hard had an issue there as he went sliding across the start finish line there. Ian Campbell, Lee Campbell, Jeremy Carter, everybody kind of spread out back here. Only real fighting is going to be for the lead or for 2nd place right at the moment, unless Brandon Puffenbarger can fill that car with jet fuel. 4 laps to go. Puffenbarger overdrove the corner. Checked that outside wall really hard there. As he was trying to get everything he could out of that 5 Chevy. See if Crowell's going to be able to take advantage as he is trying to close in for P2. Coming to the stripe. We got 3 laps to go. 6 miles left here in Fontana. If there's any more kind of action going on the track, doesn't look like it at the moment. Like Andrew Tuft decided to put his car on the hauler. Like Honeycutt's coming to the back of the 41 machine of Aaron Marquise. Gonna maybe put him down. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks in the air. Hardware issues is always the problem, Andrew. Daniel Honeycutt coming to the start finish line, going to get that 1 to go. White flag in the air, and we are going to be racing back to the checkered flag here. Daniel Honeycutt has almost a second lead. Puffenbarger has about 4/10 over Crowell, and Crowell has 8.5 or so over. Ooh, Crowell gets into that outside wall. Goes down almost onto the apron there. He's going to get that car back straight. But here they come through 3 and 4. Daniel Honeycutt is going to win at Fontana. Brendan Puffenbarger in second. Corey Crowell winds up third. Ian Campbell 4th, Lee Campbell 5th. So once again, the Racers Elite Xfinity Series has one of the same winners. Daniel Honeycutt. As he slides through start finish line there. As Racers Elite on the hood. And like I said earlier, I don't think anybody's ever going to believe him the next time he says that he does not think he's going to be competitive. We'll get these guys up here in the booth. Yeah, we'll let him burn it down. Hey, Corey, Mike up in the booth. How's it going?
Good, Mike. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Well, you back up last night with the 3rd place finish here tonight, so heck of a couple days for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how was it racing out there? Looked like you had a little bit different pit strategy, and you were able to make it work to your advantage here.
Yeah, I was hoping that last stop that they would stay out a little longer, but unfortunately they did not. Seemed like once they got by me, I was able to just maintain with them, so it was fairly good.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like you had a pretty good short run car. You were able to make your pit stop, get out, and let those fresh tires do some work for you. But heck of a run here. You have one more race left. You head to Texas. How are you feeling as the season comes to a close?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to running at Texas. I like running there, so hopefully tomorrow I have some good success in the next gens, and then hopefully I get to talk to you the rest of the time.
Definitely, man. Well, anybody you want to thank before I get you out of here tonight?
You as always, Mike. Racers Elite, and then BFN's Designs.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again on your P3 finish here.
Thank you.
If we can get Brandon up here in the booth. Hey, Brandon, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, heck of a run tonight. Looked like you kind of didn't have the qualifying effort that you're used to being up towards the front, but you were able to work through the traffic, make your pit stops work for you, and come home with a P2.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't as quick to like start the run like most guys, but as soon as like 10 laps clicked off, I was pretty good coming through the field there. Daniel was class of the field tonight, so it was hard to even try to compete with him for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like you just have to basically finish in the top half of the field next week, and you'll lock down the championship. How's the season been, and what do you look forward to as this league moves on?
The season's been fun, learning like how guys drive in this league and making some friendships with some of these guys. It's been real laid back and super competitive. So it's been fun racing with these guys, and I'm just looking forward to seeing how the league grows, like with bigger fields, and how we all do with that, and just looking forward to racing with these guys more.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on your P2. Anybody want to thank before I get you out of here tonight?
You for putting on the broadcast, Andrew, and all the guys for putting this on, and everybody for coming out tonight. It was pretty fun.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again on your P2, and I will talk to you next week.
Sounds good.
All right, let's see if we can get Daniel up in the booth here. Daniel, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How you doing, Mike?
Oh, not too bad. I mean, I don't know that I want to call you a liar, but seeing how you said you weren't going to be competitive tonight and then just basically dominated this race, how's that got to feel for you, man?
Puts a little bit of confidence in me. I started out in practice, I was 4th or 5th. And even before that, I was practicing this track beforehand, and it just felt weird to me. The new steering wheel and everything, it took a lot to get used to. And then went to qualifying and got the pole, and I was like, well, maybe I'm not as bad as I think I am. And then we saw how the race went, and felt really good there.
Definitely, man. It looked like you were able to get that longer run. I saw a couple times you were able to get out to a decent lead, and then all of a sudden you kind of fade back a little ways. But as the run wore on, you were able to, I don't know if you saved your tires a little bit more, but you were able to get back to the front and start to drive away. How was the racing out there, and how's it looking for the season as it goes on, and your championship bid in this one?
Well, the racing is Auto Club, and I really like this track. You can really run really fast on that high side, but if you run that bottom, you can save your tires, especially if you do like a Harviking kind of line and just really hold it there at the bottom as much as you can. You might lose a little bit on like the midway through the first run and on tires, but on that long run, you just can't beat it. And that's why I got this new steering wheel with my new pedals and everything. I can control the longer run a lot better. So hoping to be a little bit more competitive. I'm really looking forward to next season. I don't know, this win brings me 4 points closer. So I still got about 9 points to gain on Brandon in that last race. So if he finishes, I don't know, top 3, top 4, then he pretty much has this set. But it's been fun all year.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on your victory. Anybody want to thank before I get you out of here tonight?
Just you as always, and the league for putting everything on. And I want to thank Andrew for the recruiting process, because I don't know how he does it. you look up on your phone one day and it has like 6 different people have joined in like last 30 minutes. So he's doing really well on that, and the league's really coming together, and really you see more and more people each day. So it's really cool to see, and hope that we get some more racers, maybe get a 40 car field one day.
Definitely, man. You guys have been doing awesome. I mean, you guys have 20 drivers here, and you had one caution here at Auto Club. So heck of a job for all the drivers here, and congrats on you for winning it. And maybe I'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you.
All right, later, man.
Later.
All right, so that was the top 3 here. Let's go ahead and go down the race results. Daniel Honeycutt, Brandon Puffenbarger, Corey Crowell. We bring in the top 3. Ian and Lee Campbell are 4th and 5th. Jeremy Carter, Trevor Woodward, Timothy Hoke, Ira Kohas, AJ Coughlin round out that top 10. Joshua Neal in P11. Kirby Wainscott, Dennis Kane, Brandon Honeycutt, Kinsley Smith round out the top 15. Then you go back to Aaron Marquise, John Schloenbacher, David Palmer in 18th. And Alex and Andrew Teft finished 19th and 20th. But with that being said, from all the drivers of the Racers Elite Xfinity Series, hope you guys tune in tomorrow night as the guys jump into the next gen cars to take on Auto Club. I believe we're doing 100 laps tomorrow night. And then next week is championship week, trucks, Xfinity, and next gens. But from all of us at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you good night, and I'll talk to you guys all next time.